What's up, guys? It's your boy King Scourge here, and tonight we are bringing you my Odd Eyes Magician deck profile. First thing, as always, I'd like to apologize again. Thank you guys for being patient, editing these videos, and just kind of not really feel like doing anything. We've all had those days, and that's what it's been like for me. I do have a couple more videos in my backlog right now. I'll try to upload a couple of them tonight or in the next couple of days, including this one. So I appreciate you all waiting, and I continue to thank you all for your support. I mean, I'm at 150 subscribers already. I've had the channel for a few years now, about 3 years, but I started doing more stuff with it in the last year. I remember less than a year ago I was only at half that, so whatever I'm doing is working, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. So yeah, we're going to be doing my Odd Eyes Magician deck profile, and I definitely hope you guys like it. And like I said, I will have my Glad Beast deck profile and a couple of other ROM hacks played through for you in a couple of days or tonight or whatever. So without further ado, let's get started on this awesome deck profile. Now keep in mind, this is just a little bit of a backstory. This deck is extremely versatile, because everyone, if you haven't been playing Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're just getting into the game, Pendulum Magicians, and Odd Eyes are like the top two supported Pendulum archetypes in RPG. There's Magicians, Odd Eyes, Performance House. And you can do pure Odd Eyes and stuff, but there's so many different ways you can typically synergize with that. I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can see my Dark Magician profile, which is meant for specifically Dark. But you can use the Magician to combine them into other things, and you can just do so much neat stuff with this. So this is kind of my take on what my build. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So for the monsters, we're going to start off with 3 harmonizing magicians. You guys can't see that. We are going to start off with 3 harmonizing magicians. Let me just adjust my camera here. Sorry about that. Yeah, there might be a little bit of glare. Shoot. Sorry guys. Technical difficulties. It's not going to be perfect, but so basically, she's a skill 8, level 4 spellcaster. She's the main tuner for Pendulum Magicians. I play her at 3 of. You can play her 2 if you want. Like I said, most people typically play her at 3 of. Her Pendulum scale effect isn't very good. It's okay. All monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense point boost for every Magician Pendulum monster in your extra deck. But her monster effect is actually, which is why you play 3 of her typically. She can't be special from the extra deck, which means you can't pendulum summon her from the extra deck. But when she's pendulum summoned from the hand, you can special summon one Magician pendulum monster from your deck, ignoring it, or not ignoring some of the conditions, but special summon one, but negate its effects. And then but banish it with loose field. So it's a 1-card XZ. It's a 1-card Synchro or 1-card XZ, depending on what you may need. So I play 3 of her, and if she's used for fusing Synchro or XZ material, all the other material have to be Magician Pendulum monsters, which really isn't that big of a drawback on so many Magicians anyway. We're playing more Magicians than we are Odd Eyes because of the deck's versatility. Next, we have to play the free chronograph. Even though we're not playing Dark, it's a +1. What a monster you control is destroyed by battle card effect. You can special summon this and special summon 1 monster from your hand. And he searches your Time Gazer in the Pendulum scale, or special summons it. So I still play 3. I think you need to play 3 in almost every Pendulum deck, if it's like Odd Eyes and stuff. And especially kind of unbreaks your hand if you already used your Pendulum summon and then you want to do more extending. You could save one of these in hand and then pop it, or pop a monster with something, and then summon it, and then summon another high level monster. It's just, you can do some neat stuff with it, and you can use it for rank 6 fodder if you like. But I still play the 3 card draft. Next, I play 3 Dark Worms because we do have quite a few dragons in this deck. It's a kind of an Odd-Eyes Magician hybrid. So, we don't use this pendulum scale ever. But once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can place one Supreme King Gate pendulum monster from your deck into the other pendulum zone, but you can't pendulum summon monsters except for dark monsters. Which, that isn't a problem either. It's very situational. And by situation, I mean like 99% of the time, you're not going to use the pendulum effect. You're going to use the monster effect more. If it's in the graveyard, which you're most likely going to pitch off a Pendulum Call, Dragon Shrine, or Foolish Burial, whatever you may need. And it's in the graveyard, you can summon it. It's a free summon. And then he searches you a gate on summon. So he's going to search the donut, the gate 0. Just a kind of another play extender. And he's level 4, so you can use it for rank 4 plays or whatever you may need. Next, we play 2 Odd-Eyes Persona Dragon. This one's an interesting one. It's a level 5, but it's a monster negate that can be pendulum summoned. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target one monster with face-up monster on the field that spells something from the extra deck. It has this effect negate until the end of the turn. That's its monster effect. Its pendulum effect is very situational as well. Once per turn, during the main phase, if your opponent activates a card that targets exactly one Odd-Eyes pendulum monster, you control no other cards. You walk this card in your pendulum zone, you can special summon this card in your pendulum zone, and then place the Odd-Eyes pendulum monster from your extra deck into the pendulum zone. So, basically, kind of swap yourself with an Odd-Eyes card in you're not going to use that effect very often, but he is a low scale if you need him too. I like to play 2 because, again, it's another negate. This build isn't technically really negation heavy, but it just kind of helps, and he has a decent amount of defense. He has 2400 defense, which is actually not big, but beefy. So you can use him as a chump blocker as well. Next, I decided to add 2 Odd-Eyes Phantom Dragon. I wanted to play a little bit more, add a few more Odd-Eyes cards. But you could probably bump this one down to 1. The 4 scales of Odd-Eyes aren't necessarily very good if you're playing the Magicians, because a lot of the Magicians are level 4. But it's okay. If you have once per turn, this is actually really stupid, but once per turn, when an attack is declared involving your face-up monster, not pendulum monster, it can be any monster. Basically, if an attack is involved, you can increase that monster's attack by 1200. So, if you have an Odd-Eyes in your other pendulum scale, but it's a soft once per turn, so if you have 2 of these in the pendulum scale, which you should never have, you can have a monster gain 2400 attack points for no reason. And then if it's pendulum summon, this also helps you burn for game, because this deck, I call this deck kind of rank 7, rank 4, level 8, level 7, rank 4, rank 7 kind of spam, where you just spit out your monsters and then go into a whole bunch of plays, especially with the master rule, and just hope to kill your opponent, which I think it does a pretty good job of. If you don't, or you can just show off. If it doesn't kill your opponent, you can do a whole bunch of other nutty combos. Like I said, this deck is extremely versatile, so that's why I like to play. I'm testing out Phantom Dragon at 2. You could probably bump it down to 1, but his monster effect is when it's pendulum summoned and inflicts battle damage, you can inflict 1200 times the number of Odd-Eyes monsters in your pendulum scales. So you can essentially do an extra 2400 points of burn damage. Next, we play only two Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This is like the only decent scale for Odd-Eyes, because it removes itself from the Pendulum scale during the end phase, and you can reduce any battle damage you take to 0 involving Pendulum monsters. And then he can, and then when he destroys himself in the end phase, in the summon zone, you can search a monster with 1500 attack points or less to your hand. And he just basically does double battle damage. Like I said, Odd Eyes is a very aggressive deck, and it can combine with Performer Pals. You can do Perform Pal Odd Eyes, you can do Perform Pal Odd Eyes Magician, you can do Odd Eyes Magician. Hell, you can even do Perform Pal Magician because it's like Selection Magician and all those. I mean, those three archetypes are nuts. There's the amount of stuff that you can do. And lastly, for the Odd Eyes, we play two Odd Eyes Archdemon Dragons. I decided to bump it down to 2. I was playing 3, but I bumped down to 2 for obvious reasons, because we want to play more Odd Eyes, but I don't think we need 3 of them, because we have a lot more scale 8s. So, when an Odd Eyes monster is destroyed by battle card effect, you can press some Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really neat, which is really nice. And then he's just a normal, and he's searchable too. Next, we play 2 Oak Dragon Magician. Besides being level 6, if you have a Magician in your other Pendulum scale, you can add 1 face-up Magician or Odd Eyes Pendulum monster to your deck, extra deck to your hand. And when it's almost special summon, he has more or less the same effect, except he lets you add a Magician or Odd Eyes monster from your graveyard to hand. But you can use him for rank 6, which you can play with 1 rank 6 Dorito, but it's really good. Your modes, you play a lot of 2-ups. Some that you can probably bump down the 1, but I play a lot of 2-ups. And it seems to work in this time. We play 2 Janky Magician. Besides being able to negate a light monster's effects during either player's turn, this card can out Cyber Dragon Infinity, or out any Cyber Dragon card. You just use him for he's kind of like a rank up magic. Essentially, he lets you overlay he lets you treat the XD monster as a level, allowing you to overlay into your Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, which, if you get any of those monsters out, you pretty much have to bring over with, but just a little fun tech card. Again, this one you could probably bump down the 1 as well. Like I said, this deck is, I can't stress enough, this deck is extremely versatile and what cards you can play. Like, it's literally the one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best rank 4, or one of the best, Odd Eyes is one of like the best rank 7 toolboxes out there. And Pendulum Magicians are like the best rank 4 and level 8 Synchros. They can do a couple of rank 6 plays and stuff, but just kind of combining them, I mean, it's nuts. We play two Black Fang. Pendulum effect, it's a Dark Rebellion, so the Dragon effect, where you can have a monster's attack and then it self-destructs. And its monster effect is you treat it as an XD Dragon, and then when he uses Struggle Battle card effect, you can revive a Dark Spellcaster from your graveyard. Rank 4, and again, it's a scale 8. Like I said, this deck is just meant to vomit. Get 2 Pendulum scales, vomit out your hand, do a whole bunch of plays. It's stupid. You can do a whole bunch of, and then proceed to beat the shit out of your opponent. OTK then. 2 Purple Poison. Boosts a Dark Spellcaster by 1,200 points. That's a Pendulum Scale effect. And then she self-destructs as well. She's always treated as a Fusion Dragon. No, we are not playing Zark in this deck. We can if we wanted to, but again, this deck is meant for just kind of vomiting out rank 4, rank 7, level 7, level 8 Synchros, and doing all that kind of cheeky stuff. And if she's destroyed by battle card effect, she can pop a card in the field. We actually don't run the double Iris in this. We don't need to. We don't need to run the double Iris in here because we don't run the Pendelgraphs, so there's no need to. Now, I only have 2 Wisdom Eye, but you should play. Like I said, you can take out any of the cards that I said I play 2 of, play 1, and then play 3 of this. You should be playing 3 of this in any Magician deck, no exceptions, unless it gets limited again, but it was limited for a while at one point. But he's a free extender, so you place him in the Pendulum Zone, act to have another Magician in the Pendulum Zone, he can pop himself and replace himself with another Magician in the Pendulum Zone, and he can manipulate Pendulum Scales. So if you ever have some weird scales or whatever that are different, you can discard him and then revert it back to its original Pendulum Scale. So like for Zhangxing, the one Zhangxing Magician, not Zhanki but the other one, her Pendulum Scale, we don't play her, but her Pendulum Scale kind of flexes or differentiates. If you control more cards of your opponent, then she becomes a Scale 4, and vice versa. So you can just, and she's normally a Scale 8, but you can just kind of discard him and then revert one of your Pendulum Scales back to its normal scales until the end of the turn. We don't use that second effect, his monster effect very often. We don't fusion much in this deck, but I still like to play the 2 Odd Eyes Dissolver. Besides being a search with Dark Spellcaster, he can protect your monster from being destroyed by battle, or Pendulum monster from being destroyed by battle by summoning himself from the hand, and he is your polarization. And his Pendulum Scale allows you to fusion summon a dragon type fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field fusion material. And while he's on the field, he lets you fusion. You can summon him, and then protect the monster from being destroyed by that battle, a Pendulum monster. And then he has the same effect on field, where you can fusion summon, but he lets you fusion summon using the Pendulum monster in your Pendulum Scales as well. So something that you shouldn't be able to do, but he lets you do it anyway. And you'll notice that yes, this one Dissolver, I have 2 different card sleeves, but the one Dissolver is actually it's from my Performer Palette Odd Eyes deck. I just decided not to change the card sleeves, so I didn't have to do that. So, but yeah, you run 2 Dissolver. And then we run the 1 Time Gazer, the Guardian of the deck. Scale 8. You can only activate his Pendulum effects if you control the monsters. But when the Pendulum monster battles, your opponent can't activate trap card until the end of the damage step. And his monster effect is that once per turn, the first cards in your Pendulum Zones that would be destroyed by the opponent's card effect is not destroyed. That effect is irrelevant. You only put him in your Pendulum Scale off a chronograph. That's if you want to scale 8. But Time Gazer's effect also manipulates his scale as well. He manipulates his scale as well, so if you don't control having Odd Eyes or Magician Pendulum Monster in your other Pendulum Zone, his Pendulum Scale becomes 4. Which is stupid, but whatever. We usually just summon him and do things. The 1 Donut, or Supreme King Gate 0. If you control Supreme King Dragon Zark, and this is the Pendulum effect, you don't take any damage. And then once per turn, if you have Supreme King Gate Infinity, which you don't play, in your other Pendulum Zone, you can destroy both of them and search any fusion card. Or basically, you can search any fusion card or super polarization card. Once per turn, and this is the monster effect. Once per turn, you can target 1 other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 dragon fusion or synchro monster from your extra deck. But negate its effects, its attack and defense becomes 0. And if destroyed by battle card effect, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone. So you kind of just use it to free up your Pendulum Zones if you need it. You really shouldn't have to use that effect too often. I mean, it's more for, it's better in, like, if you're playing a Zark deck, but again, this is not my Zark deck. If you want to see my Zark deck profile, I will leave a link in the description for you guys to check out my Zark Magician deck profile and show you the interactive combos that you can do. Next, people forget about this card. This card is so stupid. We play 1 Dragon Caller. I mean, for all you Buster Blader players out there, I would recommend teching this card in because it's so stupid. Okay, so we play the one Dragon Color Magician. Once per turn, you can change one monster on the field into a dragon. Okay. Now, and then her monster effect is you can change herself into a dragon. Now, here's the kicker. She also has another effect that people forget about. A monster that uses this card as a fusion, synchro, or exi material gains this effect. If that monster battles a dragon type monster, its attack and defense its attack becomes doubled during damage calculation only. So if you're playing against a dragon deck, you just drop this and you're playing Buster Blader, you're screwed. The dragon player, you're screwed. Especially if Buster Dragon, I'll just be like, I mean, the swordsman we already know the Buster Blader swordsman already gets like 8,500 attacks and it absolutely destroys Blue Eyes, or any dragon deck for that matter. But it's just so funny just watching your opponent, the look on their face when it's like, attack? That's a dragon, right? Yeah. Well, my monster gains double its attack points, putting it like ridiculous levels. Just I love this card, and since we have a few rank 7s that we can actually go into, just stick this on any dragon, and you're killing it. That dragon is going to die. Alright, for the last of monsters, we play the one Null Dragon Magician. She's an interesting one, but she's pretty cool though. She's meant for the tuner for Odd Eyes. Once per turn, or her effect isn't once per turn, but if you don't control, if you don't have a magician card in your other penalty zone, she kills herself, which is weird, but she can only be used for synchro material for a dragon type synchro monster. Okay, it's not too bad. Now, if she's in your hand or graveyard, you can target an Odd Eyes monster you control, reduce its level by 3, and if you do, special summon her. So she lets you go into she was originally designed to let you go to like Meteor Burst and all that kind of fun stuff. And then she shuffles herself into the deck too. She shuffles herself into the deck once she, if the materials weren't Odd Eyes. But that's fine, so she recycled herself. And you can do it off, and you can send her off a Foolish Burial. I mean, her effect is not once per turn, so you can turn Odd Eyes into a level 4 or whatever you may need. There's some nice things. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's talk about the spells. We run 2 Spiral Flame Strike to search your higher level Odd Eyes, your level 7s. Or you can use it as a MST of sorts. Basically, if you control Odd Eyes mod, you can activate one of these effects. If you control Odd Eyes card, you can target one card in the field and destroy it. And then you can search a level 7 or higher. You can search a level 7 or higher Odd Eyes monster from your deck or your extra deck to your hand and just add one. So you can use it to search. Originally, I wasn't playing this, but I wish it only searches level 7. I mean, I wish it kind of searched the level 8 Odd Eyes and stuff like that, because that would make this card so much better. But I think if you have to play it, because you don't want to worry, because of the Magician engine, we do run 2 Pendulum Call. I should be running 3, but I don't have a third one on me at the moment. So yeah, like I mentioned before, we're running 2 Pendulum Call. I should be running 3 based on the Magicians I have, but you discard a card, add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names for your deck to your hand, and then you cannot activate this card if you activate a Magician's effect this turn in the Pendulum Zone. Also, you can't, Magician cards in the Pendulum Zone can't be destroyed by card effect until the end of your opponent's turn. So it gets you, it completes Pendulum Scales basically. You should be playing 3 of it, but again, I only have 2, and it's actually a $5 card right now, or $3 to $4 card. And, yeah, you should be playing 3. Next, you play 2 Dual Coins to search either your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon or your Arch Pendulum if you need it. It's partially the reason why I started to play 2 Style Plays Dragon. We're playing this specifically to search the Dual Coins. Or, sorry. We're playing 2 of these specifically to search the Pendulum Call, because that's like the only target that we really need to search. I mean, all the other Odd Eye stuff we can search off of Sky Arts and things like that. Speaking of which, we only play 2 Skyers. I don't think we need 3. It's a good card. I mean, you get to protect your Magician, Compound, and Odd Eyes cards in your Pendulum Zones from being targeted by card effects, so they can't like Cosmic Cyclone. They can't Cosmic Cyclone, MST, do anything that targets, which is cool. And then you can destroy one face-up card, add 1 Odd Eyes card from your deck. I was originally playing 1 Odd Eyes Fusion, but I'm not going to waste my search on an Odd Eyes spell card. I'm not. It just wouldn't work. So that's why I got rid of the Odd Eyes Fusion and decided to play 2 Odd Eyes Dissolver instead, because I'd rather it's your fusion spell. Like, you don't even need to play Odd Eyes Fusion or any of those anymore. You really don't. You can if you want, but in my Performance Valve variant, I play Polarization, but that's a different deck. So we only play 2 Skyers, and of course with the 2 Skyers, since we can only play 1 Terraforming to search the Skyers. And then for the last 3 cards, we play 2 Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial to send either the Dark Worm or the Noble Dragon Magician. And the 2 Dragon Shrine just to send the Dark Worm. They essentially all have the same purpose. I mean, I know why this card is at 1. That could change on the next ban list, but I highly doubt it. Foolish Burial is too good of a card to have at 3, so or even 2. And Dragon Shrine once per turn. You kind of want to get your Dark Worm into the grave as quick as possible, because it automatically searches the lowest scale, and then all you need to do is have a scale 8 in hand or something to be able to just Pendulum Summon for 4 or 5. Like, I don't even play Links in this deck, even though, well, number 1 Electromite is still banned, but ever since the Master Rule of Visions, this deck isn't focused on Pendulum Summoning anymore. It's focused on Pendulum Summon from the hand, but you don't Pendulum Summon from the extra deck anymore. In this deck, you don't really have to. You just, because you can use your main monster zones to XZ summon and do all that. You're too busy doing all that other stuff. Whether just Pendulum Summon. If you're gonna Pendulum Summon, okay, make it like a good monster. But you could put in like 1 or 2 links if you guys wanted to. So that's it for the main deck. Main deck is 45 cards. Let's talk about the extra deck now. So for the fusions, we played 2 Odd Eyes Vortex because Absolute can cheat this out, and again, Dissolver can go into it, and it's your Omni Negate of the deck. Takes an Odd Eyes monster, 1 Pendulum monster. Simple to make. Its compulse effect is on special summon, so if you fusion summon it properly, it dies. You can bring it back with Arc Pendulum and then bounce a card, and then, like I said, it's your Omni Negate. Once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent will activate a card or effect, so when they try to perform 1 Yugioh, you can negate the activation of that Yugioh and destroy that card, and then shuffle 1 card in your from your extra deck in your main deck. So I play him at the 2-up. Again, yes, it's fun to cheat him out with Absolute, but at the same time, if you cheat him out with Absolute, you can't bring. Well, if it dies, you can't bring it back with Monster Reborn or anything because it wasn't properly summoned first. So just keep that in mind. And then I'm trying out this card. Keep in mind the sector can be any cards you want. I'm trying out the 1 Starvey Venom and Lethal Ghost Dragon. It requires 2 or 3 Dark Pendulum monsters. Doesn't have to be on field. And Dissolver uses some for hand or field. But this one's kind of interesting. Yeah, we're playing a lot of spellcasters, but basically, each time a card is sent from the field or the graveyard, place one Venomy counter on this card, and then all monsters lose 200 attack for each Venomy counter on this card. And during your main phase, you can basically negate the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of the turn. And if it's destroyed by a battle card effect, you can place a Pendulum Zone. Except for Dark Dragon monsters. So basically, a lot of the deck consists of Dark Dragons. All the Odd Eyes cards, most of the Odd Eyes cards, I mean Dragon Caller, most of your extra deck consists of Dark Dragons. So it's like, okay, it's not really going to affect my monsters. And like I said, you can do a whole bunch of crazy shit with this deck. So I'm trying them out. And we do run Dark Italian as well. So if you want to, you can Pendulum something else because the Dark Italian skill, Pendulum skill is 12, but it's just a little couple shenanigans there. I like to do. Next we play one Odd Eyes Absolute. It's a Utopia. It's literally Utopia. When an attack is declared, you can detach an Extreme material during either player's turn. Once per turn, you can detach it. When an attack is declared, you can detach material, special summon Odd Eyes monster from your hand or deck. Or actually, sorry, not hand or deck. Hand or graveyard. So pretty nifty there. And then of course you can send to the graveyard. If this XD summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can special one Odd Eyes from your extra deck. So you can get out of Vortex, you can get out Meteor Burst, you can get out. You can even bring out Odd Eyes Raging Dragon if you really wanted to. But why would you do that? Because it's not even worth that. You'd rather summon Odd Eyes Raging or Rebellion Dragon with XD materials and do that one. One Flare Metal. Flare Metal is a Dark Dragon, but what's more fun than sitting there and watching your opponent burn to ashes? It's like, drop Flare Metal and be like, your turn. Okay, activate. Okay, take 500. Okay, activate, take 500. Activate, take 500. Activate, take 500. You just sit there and watch them burn themselves to death. And plus, he can't be destroyed by card effects like XD material. What's another really stupid combo is if you want to play Ritual build with Odd Eyes, there's a card called the Ritual Monster Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon. If you have that on the field and then drop the Flare Metal, your opponent only has, assuming they haven't taken any damage, they can only activate 8 cards, 8 effects. Like, otherwise they lose because they'll be taking 1,000 per turn. They'll be taking 1,000 per turn because Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon forces them to pay 500, and then they take 500 after resolve. So yeah, we just play the one Flare Metal. Next, we play one Dark Italian Dragon. It's literally a quick play Dark Rebellion effect. You can have your opponent's monsters attack points during either player's turn, and then it gains the lost attack until the end of the turn. If this is filled by battle or card effect, you can place it in the Pendulum Zone at the Pendulum Scale of 10, and its Pendulum Scale is literally the same as Black Fang Magician's effect, only it doesn't self-destruct. You can have a monster attack until the end of the turn. Nothing too fancy, but you can Pendulum Summon this card too if you can Pendulum Summon level 7 from your extra deck. Big thing, like I said, I really wish they would have. They kind of kept the manga effect, but I think I mentioned it from my Dark Magician deck profile, but with the manga effect, it had the same effect, but not only did this thing gain the attack of not only did the thing steal half the attack and then gain the attack of the monster in the manga, but then it also protected itself from battle and card effects, where it couldn't be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of the turn that this effect was applied, and it gave you life points. So imagine this: you have a 5,000, you're facing down a 5-headed dragon, all right? You drop this on them, activate Antellion's effect, steal 2,500 attack points off a 5-headed dragon, making the 5-headed dragon 2,500, gaining 2,500 life points, and then having this to become 5,500, and then it can't be destroyed with battle and card effects. They should have kept that effect on there. That might have been too broken, but pendulum cards are long enough to read already, so I can see why Konami didn't do that. Keep that second effect on there. Then we play the one-eyed Raging Dragon. It takes 2 level 7 dragon type monsters to summon, so you can summon it like normal. If you want to get its effects off, what you should do is use Zenki, overlay a rank 7 monster with this, and then it gains 2 effects. Both are basically game winning. First effect, it can attack twice during each battle phase. Okay. Second effect, once per turn. I wish it was a quick effect, but it's not. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Z material, destroy as many cards your opponent controls. And if you do, this card gains 200 attack for each card destroyed until the end of the turn. What's that? You have 7 cards on field? Okay. Gains 1400 attack, making it 4400, and it can attack twice. That's game. So if you get this out, you're pretty much winning the duel. But you can still summon as a 3K V-Stick if you want with 2 materials, but you won't get its effect because it has to have XD monsters material to gain those effects. And of course, you know, the yada yada yada, if it's destroyed with battle card effect, you know, you can place in your Pendulum Zone. Yeah, and then you can, his scale effect is you can place a Pendulum monster from your deck into your other Pendulum scale if you control the Pendulum monster from your other Pendulum. Next, we play 1 Performance Trapeze Magician. You have a lot of spellcasters, so make 2 levels 4 spellcasters and drop this, and then your opponent, you don't take any damage if the damage is less than or equal to 2500. Less than or equal to its attack value. So if you make a game more attack somehow, the more attack it gains, the more damage you'll be immune to. And then, as a quick effect, during either player's main phase 1, you can detach 1 XC material, target 1 monster on the field. It can make a second attack during each battle phase, but it's destroyed. At the battle phase ends, it's automatically destroyed. So you can use it to you could use it on a freaking flare metal if you really wanted to, have it attack twice. And like I said, this deck is meant to just punch your opponent and kill them. OTK, very aggressive. I don't know how consistent I've been testing. Consistency could be a little bit better, but I think it's been working just fine for me. Next, I play 1 Queen Dragon Jin. Now, this is one of the stupid combos that I was talking about. One of the many stupid combos. But what this card does is, it's generic, takes 2 level 4 monsters. Dragon type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Well, most of your extra deck are all dragons, so okay. Except Queen Dragon Jin. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XP material, target 1 level 5 or higher dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it can't attack and it's effect negated. Okay, so you get back some of the objects that you use for material. It's effect negated, but who cares? You get a free monster born of a dragon, and it can't be destroyed by battle. And so, if you have these 2 on the field, which you can very easily do, you can essentially make a wall where dragon type monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle, and you essentially don't take any battle or effect damage. If the damage is less than 2500. You can just make a wall of dragons, sit on it, and be like, "Come at me, bro." Nothing. Nothing. No matter what you do, you can't kill my dragons. Why are you trying to attack? It's like I said, I can't stress enough. This deck is really nice. Like that. Next, you play the 1 Time Star Magician. It searches the Dark Spellcaster from anywhere, hand, deck, or graveyard by detaching G material. And you also protect your Pendulum monsters from being destroyed by battle or card effect by sending 1 Dark Spellcaster monster from your deck to the grave instead. You can only apply that effect once per turn, but he's nice to have, because you can search any of your magicians or your spellcasters. Next, we play 1 Naruto just because we play a few rank 6s or level 6s. Naruto negates spells and traps. It's always nice. Next to the Synchros, we only have 4, but we have one Odd-Eyed Meteor Burst. It special summons a monster from the Pendulum Zone when it's special summoned, and you're at the cost of not being able to attack for that turn. And it also shuts down your opponent's monster effects in the battle phase. So it allows you to, a lot of people forget about that, but it shuts down Utopia, Utopia the Lightning, shuts down all those Utopias or anything that activates in the battle phase. So this card shits on Gladiator Bees, I'll tell you that right now, because their effects activate during the battle phase. All their fusion, I can just see the opponent, I can just see it myself. I just realized that it shuts down, it does shut down, it shits on Gladiator Bees because they're effects to tag out, they can't activate. So it's like, okay, well you don't get to search. Frowny face. Then I play one. Honestly, it can be any level 8 Synchros at this point. I play 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, again, just protecting your cards. One of your cards from being destroyed by battle card effect once per turn. It's pretty neat as a quick effect. I mean, but that can be seriously like Omega, it can be Enlightenment Paladin, it can be really any level 8 Synchro that's generic. Hell, it can be even fucking Draco Berserker the 10 Yi if you wanted to. I mean, it's up to you. This deck, I feel like, this version of the deck is like a rank 4, level 7, level 8. Just, it's a toolbox. It's a massive toolbox. You can play literally anything. That's what I like about this deck, and I keep on saying that, but I cannot stress that enough. We play the 1 Clear Wing for the Monster Negate, and the attack gain, and it's generic because we can use Noble Dragon or we can just use Harmonizing in the level 3 and do it that way. And lastly, one of the upgraded form, the Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, because it's basically a Lightning Vortex on summon. Destroys all face-up monster opponent controls on Synchro summon. And it has that weird effect where it says if this card battles, you can destroy that monster and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack points. I know it doesn't say quick effect, but my friends and I, we just play that as a quick effect. Because it really doesn't specify, but at the same time it says if this card battles. So I think it's like an ignition effect. But either way, it's a good card to have because, again, clears the board. Although there are getting way too many monsters that are either unaffected or can't be destroyed by card effects, which kind of sucks, but it still clears the board of all your opponent's monsters on summon, which is a little bit broken, especially it's generic to go into. Alright guys, so that does it for my Odd-Eyes Magician deck profile. As always, if you guys like my deck profiles, please feel free to leave some criticism on how to improve the decks, and I'll gladly take any criticism or constructive criticism of how I can improve my decks, any deck tips, if you guys just want to leave in the comments. I really do like this deck. I'm the player that Arc 5 is my favorite Yugioh series, to be honest with you guys. I don't know why, but I love Arc 5. I like all the past references and stuff. And I love action duels. I really wish they were real. I know most people hate them, but they're kind of fun. I mean, it's pretty cool. With that, guys, I will try to, like I said, I will try to upload a couple of my videos. They should be up in a couple days. And as always, if you guys like my videos, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a nice night, guys. King Scourge out.